I'm Yvonne with Back to Earth Creations, and welcome to our craft room. Today we are making June's craft along project, and I even took one apart for you so that you can see what it was that we were doing. But we're doing a few things. I'm running a little bit late because we haven't really done a 11 a.m. I'm a little disheveled. I've been like vacuuming, and we're doing the turtle tank water swap this morning. Randy's filling up the last 4 gallons for me this morning. So I'm gonna need to treat the water and put it into the turtle tank, and then we'll be getting to it. But let me make sure that I've got the video pulled up so I can see y'all's comments and questions and stuff, and I'm gonna make sure that I put it into all messages instead of top messages. So yesterday in our Kick live stream, we made this super cute little like fairy circlet, and I'm test wearing it, and I think I love it, you guys. But it's just using some silk floral, and I really love the little butterfly charm that's on there. But yeah, I'm just test wearing to see if I can't wear it during a live stream, then I can't wear it when I'm manning my booth. So there's that. Well, hey, Mare, how's it going today? So we're doing this morning's live stream is just about the craft along kit project. So that being said, the kit is not completely necessary for. Thank you, honey. I'll treat him whenever you get all 4 over there. Thank you. He's so helpful, you guys. You don't have to have the kit to craft along with us, but if you enjoy our free tutorials that we've been making since 2012, apparently was whenever we first posted a tutorial, but then we started really being active here on YouTube back in 2016. So this whole year is kind of our 10-year YouTube anniversary, which is very exciting. But you don't have to have the kits, but if you want to support what we do, one of the best ways to do that is to get one of our craft along kits. And I'm going to show you guys we're going to have a deeper dive into it in Tuesday's vlog, because I'm showing you how we make the cabochons and stuff as well. But I'm just going to show you guys today the $15 and $25 kits, because those are really great for if you're just starting to get into it. Like the $15 kit, you just get cabochons, and that's really fun because I'm so bad at holding these. I wish I could be like one of those JoJo's Bizarre Adventure characters or something where they just go like whoosh, and they've got like something. Is that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Well, anyways, let me go like this. Maybe I can do it. I don't think I can do it. Maybe I can. Kurt. I mean, oops. We're just going like this. There we go. These are the cabochons. These are examples of the cabochons that you can expect in your $15 kit. And if you get a $25 kit, you will also have 2 spools of wire in 18 and 24 gauge, both of which for the month of June are bare copper. And then you will either have Amazonite or red jasper. It's a little bit of a mystery mix-up, so to see which beads will be in your kit. Let me check out. Well, hey, Susan. How are you doing, Susan? She says, well, Susan England. She says, haven't seen you forever. So glad it popped up on my feed. Right on. Well, how have you been doing, Susan? Remember, says, so glad the schedule is in the newsletter, so I caught you. Yes. Yeah, we've been sending out links and the schedule. Well, links to the... This is still my first cup of coffee. I'm going to drink more of it. Like, literally, like, hit the ground running today. Testing out to see if I have developed another personality, which is a morning person. I don't think so. But at the very least, we can just chug some coffee. Tools, thank you. Links to the tools, like a material list in the newsletter, as well as our schedule for the week, which is rigorous here lately, but I'm really excited. Happy summer solstice, by the way, everybody, or winter solstice if you're in on the other side of the planet. Well, hey, Stephanie says hi, you guys. Hey, Stephanie says you're looking all forest princessy today. Well, thank you. We made this circlet in yesterday's Kick live stream, and I wanted to test wear it to see if it'll do well, like, in the booth for, like, part of my garb. And I don't know if I like it farther back as a headband or more forward facing as like more of a circlet. I think today I like it as a headband because otherwise it's giving me like helmet hair. I don't know if that's a good look. Styling's everything. There we go. I could just sit here and play in my hair all day, but that's not the point of today's live stream. So, oh, well, hey, Handmade. It says, hi, chat. Hi, Yvonne. I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. It's a really good weekend. I'm going to go dump some water into the turtle tank real quick. Randy, if I treat these, will you pour them in? Yeah. Thank you. I'll be right back, you guys. Thank you for doing my chores for me. Wow. There you go, little toidos. We love you. We love you. All right, they're ready for you, baby.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay. Back. So, nice. Welcome back, Trinity. How are you doing today? It looks super cute. Oh, well, thank you, guys. So, are we ready to get started? If you're crafting along with me today, you for sure are going to want some wire snips, and probably some nylon jaw pliers. I don't know what that is. Well, hey, Barker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, my God. Thank you so much. But, yeah, we're going to want some wire snips, some nylon jaw pliers for when we make oopsies or, mess up. It just, these things happen. So we just plan. I try to not shoot for being perfect on a project. I shoot for having solutions to the problems that I know are going to happen and workarounds and stuff. Some round nose pliers and some bent nose pliers. And you can either use whatever materials you have on hand, or you can use our craft along kits, which are for sale at backtoearthcreations.com. But in that kit, and so this is like whether you've got it in your craft room or whether you're using the kit, we're going to want anywhere from like 5 to 8 feet. Thank you, Randy. Well, what did I just say? 5 to 8 feet of the 24 gauge wire, because that is what, if you're going to be doing coiling, you're going to want more wire than if you're just doing a naked. Okay, so I started taking this one apart because I was like, I can't remember. Did I just cut the wire? I did. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. So this one we actually made in Friday's live stream. So, oh, well, hey, Teresa, she says, I love and miss your wire wrapped designs. Well, good news. We're here today. And we're going to need about, sorry, that was loud. But it's super durable. We're going to need 14 inches of the 18 gauge. I'm using a different color of wire today than y'all are because I'm saving all of the bare copper for our craft along kits. So let me go grab my 24 gauge. You could use other wire gauges on this one, you guys, like for sure, but I don't have any 24 gauge in the antique copper, apparently. So, oh, I bet I do in my drawer over here. If I can't find any, though, we'll just use this 24 gauge in vintage bronze instead. Oh, thank you, Dragon. I hate when I can't remember how I made something right, and I was like, I'm just going to take it apart because I was experimenting. And we're using 12 millimeter beads is what all of, oh, yeah, okay. We did the Moth Market, or was it the Joplin Expo? And I got these smudge sticks that are just rolled in dragon's blood resin, which is, it's like a palm tree resin, but It smells so good. And I hid them in this drawer, apparently. We might have to... Do y'all want to set some stuff on fire before we get started? I already know what my answer is. Let me go grab a fire-safe dish. Don't play with matches, kids. Where's my lighter? Don't play with lighters either. But it's all like rainy and it's been such a nice like thunderstorm this morning. I just want to... This is one of my sage and cedar smudge sticks that my friend Jim sent me. Well, I'm not going to light that one right now, but I'm going to whip out one of these ones. Woohoo! Heck yeah. Fire. Okay, so we're going to angle the... Ha ha ha. Fire. But yeah, I love getting some smells. I'm trying to regain my sense of smell. And one of my things with that is I try to like sniff stuff like on purpose to be like, and that's, I love gardening because man, you can sniff everything out there. Like just, there's like, I love the smell of tomato plants. I love the smell of mint. We have a lot of mint growing. Handmade says the last and only time I lit a sage smudge stick. I don't know what I did, but I think I cleansed every demon in a 25-mile radius. Well, good. Send some of that vibe our way. So I don't know which is there. Oh, is there a right or a wrong end to these, you guys? Oh, the sun's coming out. Whee! Here comes the sun. Doo, 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 doo. Normally I like to light a candle instead of just wasting fuel, but I don't want to set myself on fire too much.
Both ends in the middle just to be sure.
Oh, Randy says we light both ends? Really?
And the middle.
And the middle?
Just to be sure.
Just to be sure? I think he's pulling my leg. But yeah. Oh, all this. I love the way incense smoke looks, and smudge stick smoke is right up there with that. Okay. Boom. Smudge stick smudging. I'm trying to sniff and see if it smells any different than... Yeah, it does. There we go. So I only light just a little. That way it doesn't get too overpowering because I don't want to be, you know, smoking ourselves out of the house. But I had to toss it into my pond to get it to go out. Oh man, I love the smell of onions when my grass gets cut. Oh, Trinity. That is a good smell. That's a really good smell. Okay, so we played with fire a little bit. Now we can get to work. We're going to want to cut 3 5-inch long sections of our 18 gauge wire. And if we can have these work hardened, and I'll show you how to do that. Even the fish demons were banished. Well, I lit a smudge stick, honey.
He's looking at me like, Father, what is on fire?
But it only, I mean, do you like that?
I don't mind it.
Okay, Randy says he doesn't mind it.
Z has a problem with it.
Z has a problem with it?
Yeah.
Are you sure he doesn't just need to poop? Because he makes that face when he needs to poop. Okay, so what we're doing is I'm just holding on to the wire, and I'm going to grab it with my nylon gel pliers and go like, wah. And then I rotate it. Like, did you see I was like this? Now I'm like this. Wah. And it just makes it... I don't know if I'll be able to demonstrate this, but here's an equally unworked piece, like same wire but unworked, and I can kind of bend it a bit, and you can also see it's got some variation just there in the smoothness. You can see the way the light's reflected off of it. Now we do need 14 inches of this, so I'm going to go ahead and measure that off. Well, hey Amy, how's it going? So how many of y'all have a kit or are expecting your kit soon or are crafting along with us today? So this is what's going to be our edge wire that the bail and everything is made out of. And so we're just going to take that and go, wow. Because, woo, while this is the core project, what I would like to start doing moving forward is I'm trying to think how to let me put my thoughts together. Depending on how today goes, I would like to stream every Sunday morning from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and have that video just be focused on our craft along kit project for the month, because not only most months not only do we have a core project, but we have like there's these other things that come in the kit too that we can wrap with the same wire. Though some months we send out polymer clay and some months we send out chainmail, but that way every Sunday we'll be crafting together. Friday too, but Friday our focus is on our shop update, and so just different things. It feels like we have so many different plates spinning, but there we've got that straightened out. Doesn't have to be perfect, but let's go ahead and make sure to work hard in these ones especially, because this is what we're about to do our weaving on, and then we just pull them out. So the smoother and more straight and perfect these wires are, the easier it's going to be to pull out. Oh, I should have put the ring clamp in the newsletter. My hand has been doing really well after my injury, and one of the things that I feel like contributes to that, it was just an overuse injury, but one of the things that contributes to that, or to my recovery, is this ring clamp, because it does the squeezing for me. My current thing that I'm struggling with is this connection point whenever I am gripping, squeezing something, or bearing weight, and then do this twist motion, whatever is connecting around in like here. It's just hurting me. I've been icing it. It's just another overuse injury, but I've been doing my physical therapy exercises, and that helped my shoulders quite a bit. But we have to do our exercises so that we can live to craft another day. It's maintenance on our machinery, just like how you got to oil your pliers when they get squeaky. You gotta, I don't know, like stretch out your meat suit that you craft with. Tennis elbow, pretty much. I'm sort of crafting along, but sewing while taking visual notes to make these later. Gotcha. Well, if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, now is the time and place to get to do that. I had been doing craft along tutorials, but we really miss out on that opportunity for instant feedback, with y'all being able to ask a question and me being able to demonstrate. And so these live streams are brought to you by our Happy Crafter Club, all the folks who are our YouTube channel members and our kit subscribers. Y'all make what we do possible. So thank you. All right, let's get to crafting. So I'm going to be using, I had just a few beads left over from my stash of what we were sending out in the kits. So I'm going to be using the same Amazonite as you. And I'm making stuff for in my booth. Like, I put my money where my mouth is. All these cabochons and stuff, this is what we stock our booth with too. And so I would not be sending these things out to you guys if I didn't have faith that they were going to become beautiful jewelry that's going to make us all some money whenever we go to our next vending event. So gotta get that money. Okay, so I'm going to just leave my bead on the string for a while until we need it. I'm just going to have the string hold it for me. Ooh, I had that spot be sore a while back too. Wonder what I did to cause that. Do you use a Stanley cup? Because I hurt myself on a Stanley cup, because apparently I carry my bottle of water, which I don't have one right now, and my cup of coffee around like this, just around the house, like in between, like I'll go, or it'll be like my phone and my coffee, or my pliers and my cup. Like I'm just like going through the house. And so I'm trying to just hold my arms like a human, which is challenging. We were looking for 24 gauge wire, weren't we? Do y'all want to see in this drawer? Flip it around. Behold my stash of half-round pliers. I'm a hoarder whenever it comes to the half-round pliers, or half-round wires, because I'm always like terrified that I'm never going to be able to find them again. Is this the right gauge? No, that's 26 gauge. Is this the right gauge? No, that's more 26 gauge. Is this the right gauge? Dude, when Parawire and Vintage were paired up, this is some older wire. Good price though. There's some 18. Well, heck. That didn't feel it. Feels like 26 gauge as well. Alright. Well, I don't think I have. I get these little bins from the dollar store or the Walmart. I can't recall. And it's just perfect because if there's stuff sitting around loose in the bottom, then it's hard to pull it out and get a good look at it. But I really want to have a good, like, I want to be able to pull it out and see what's going on. 24 gauge, but it's in the same color that I was using anyhow, so I'll just set that in there. So part of our D-stash for moving in October, I don't know, I just woke up with it in my heart, like I was just worried that for our future, I hope everything's going to go okay. Let me get this into the thing. Watching too much House of Chickens. No, I've been this way long before watching House of Cluck on Kick. Hashtag not sponsored. But I think that's why I feel so at home with the birds. It's because they too are holding their arms kind of silly. Oh, there is a bursa. What's a bursa? Okay, let me catch up on how that spot be sore. Okay. Hey, Daniela, how's it going? What's a bursa? Is there a bursa in between the tendons and can cause pain when irritated? Right on. Well, there's certainly something irritated up in my elbow. Do, 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 do. Oh, Trinity says, okay, let's see. Feels like I'm attending a class slash workshop live. I love it. Productivity plus socializing is always fun. And that's kind of what I was hoping for. I will get my life together here momentarily. But again, if you guys want to be getting your wires prepped, so it's 14 inches of the 18 gauge and then 3 sections of the 18 gauge wire. And then whenever you're ready, you can just say ready. Because otherwise I'll go on without you. Oh no, handmade, don't you dare be ashamed. If you go back and see some of our older videos, I was such a hoarder. I was going to die under one of my piles of stuff. Like, truly, it took 2020 and the Fly Lady method for me to start to get, like, a millimeter of progress better at a time. But if you just start pairing things like with like, over the years, your craft room and your whole house and everything will slightly become more organized. Because if nothing else, all that one type of thing is just in one spot. It's easier said than done, but obvious things. Put all of your forks in the same pile in the drawer. Get like a divider so that the piles can stay separate. And then that just like scales. Well, hey, Mrs. Thornton, thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Go on without me. I'll catch up someday. Oh, a mare. Oh no, now she needs a snuggle. Oh, a mare. That's rough. Your massive studio declutter series is actually how I find your channel, believe it or not. No way, really? Wow. Well, that makes my day. I hope it was helpful to you. Okay, so now we're going to just mess with the tripod some more. There we go. All right. Because I found I stay in frame better if I can see what it is that I'm doing. This. Cheers, everybody. A little bit more coffee. Okay, so now I'm going to be using the 24 gauge vintage bronze. You could use thicker than 24 gauge, like a 22 gauge, but I feel like that would be really tricky. And I am pulling off a full arm span and a half, which is about 8 feet. I'd always rather have more than what we need than not enough. And Trinity says, I've been trying to organize my craft room for months and months now. It has grown to can encompass the basement rooms and the garage rooms. I still haven't gotten all the way organized. Dude, it's been 6 years and I still have stuff that needs organized, but you've got this. You just keep at it and you'll get there. Okay, so we have step 1 is we're going to find the middle of our weaving wire. Moving forward, our weaving wire is the 24 gauge because that's what we're doing the weaving with. And then our core wire is the 18 gauge. If I used a thicker weaving wire, I would want to also increase the gauge of my core wire. So this is an 18 and 24. You could do a 16 and a 22 or a 14 and a 20. The thing that I'm most limited by on this project is you just want to be able to make sure that the hole on whatever bead that you're using can hold 2 strands of your weaving wire, because we're going to have a point where we're going to have to thread 2 wires through, because that's how we stabilize the bead. We're going to weave the whole frame. For those of y'all who already know what you're doing, here's the quick rundown. Step 1, we are blurry. Step 1, we weave this frame. Step 2, we bend the wires up, like around and up, using a ring mandrel or a stick mandrel or a highlighter or a Sharpie, or just like a Sharpie would actually work really well for this one. For a 10 or 12 millimeter bead, we're using a 12 here. But you've woven the frame, removed the wires, shaped it around, bent the bail wires up so that they're bunny ears. Use one wire to coil about an inch around both of those wires. Use the other end of the coiling wire to come down, split between these two, whoop, and then go back up. And then we start doing whatever the heck you feel like to bind things off. So, and I took this one apart so that we could see how blurry it is. This coiling wire went like coil, 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 and then we made this with the bail. Yeah, that wire coming down out of the bail. We'll get there and I'll show you. But you might have been able to figure it out, because this bail wire came down and got bent to the side and looped around, and then we brought it off in to do a decorative spiral. You can see where that wire's cut off right there. Boop. Do 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 do. Hey, Michelle. Michelle says, so is this video instead of the regular live? No, we will still be live streaming this afternoon on Kick, just like our regular schedule from 3 to 6 p.m. But we're just doing a craft along project. Like, I want to start doing Sunday mornings are specifically for all the craft along project, projects for that month. Let me zoom back out so that we're not so blurry and out of frame. Well, hey, Anika, how's it going? Oh, that'd be so cool to have some craft room space in there. Handmade said most videos I could find were of people decluttering like 4 paint cubes from an already clean room, which is fine, but yours just felt so authentic. Right on. No, it was, we had a big old mess. We had a big old mess. And we're going to be doing vlogging and stuff of moving our craft room, if everything goes according to plan and we move in October. So I'm starting by finding the center of our 24 gauge wire, and then doing 2 wraps around the core wire. And I'm going to move that to be in the middle. Yeah, in the middle will be just fine. We're using enough wire. And then from here, oh, we need to make a spacer real quick. I'm just going to grab with the end of my wire and one of these 18 gauge cores, and I'm just going to put some coils on here. I should have still had from a previous project, but I lose them in between, so I usually end up having to make a new. This little tool here that we're making is going to be so handy. You want to be sure to be using the same gauge of wire that you're going to be weaving with. So I've done about 20 coils, or about a centimeter. I find that's perfectly adequate for what we're doing. And then I'm going to snip. And now I'm going to use my bent nose pliers. You could use your pliers of choice to kind of smush and burnish that smooth end. And you can see my wire will get wrenched around by my grip. It just curves it. And I want to keep these nice and straight. But it's just something to be mindful of. If you have a lot of trouble with that, don't hesitate to use your nylon jaw pliers. It's much easier to grip the pliers than it is to try to grip. I'm having to use so much more effort and strain. And so you want to take care of your hands like they're a precious, delicate instrument that you can't do your work without, because they are. And so you can just pull that off. Like, as crafters, as a crafter, I'm most worried about the well-being of my hands and my eyes. But it's my body is making it known that it's like I have to do my stretches and I have to, do my cardio and stuff. So, and it just makes running the booth easier. It makes my sitting hurt less. Mare says, I am on a 3-year plan for my organization. 1 year I got all craft supplies together. Last year they were put in bins and labeled. That's a really good first step. And this year I'll organize within the bins better. Nice. Cat just knocked over a large box of different size beads all over. No. Hey, Lori, this is still alive. How's it going? Okay, so we have our spacer bead. We have 3 5-inch lengths of 18 gauge wire. We are making this pendant, but different. And we have 14 inches of 18 gauge core wire with 8 feet of 24 gauge weaving wire. There we go. How are you doing, Lori? Can you show the orange drop closer? It's a wonderful color, like a candy. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, these are some of the different cabochons. These ones we made in a frit mold using yellow opaque frit with, like, powder with fine translucent orange and a lot of our clear homemade frit that Randy makes, which helps gets us really cool little perfectly spherical bubbles. I just love it. It's like a little planet floating through a nebula. So there's that one. And then we're sending out these that I thought looked like a starry night sky. These are a homemade blue aventurine. We use blue aventurine sheet glass on a kiln shelf. So this one was made in a mold. This one was allowed to melt and shape itself just under the surface tension of the molten glass. And we put a double thick clear or a hunk of our homemade frit on top to melt down, and that's what gives that really cool lensing. I think next time we make these, I want to do a double cap of like the double thick, and like really I want to experiment with that and see how much lensing we can get, because I live for the shimmer. And then the third cabochon that you can expect to get in your June craft along kits are these grooved lemon drops. So it has a little groove that we cut into the edge using our glass grinder. It's a Griffette glass grinder and a 2 for jewelry bit. It's a diamond encrusted, kind of like a lapidary. I can cut gem. That's how we groove our labradorites as well. But so there's the different cabochons up closer. Lori says, how did the marigolds grow? I don't know how many years it's been since you originally sent the seeds, Lori, but the marigolds, all of the marigolds actually growing in my garden right now are what I saved from seeds, from those seeds that you sent. So they're doing really well. I planted them a little late and direct sowed them, but man, it was like 100% germination. It was so good, but they aren't flowering yet. So I even planted a few more just yesterday because I was taking my spring crops out. Oops. Oh, I stepped on a light bulb. Okay, well, it's like fairy lights. Everything's okay. Okay, so are you ready? Yeah, if ever I get a little too sidetracked, just yapping, just be like, get on with it. So I'm gonna risk zooming in, though I think you can pinch and zoom on the screen. Did you know that? Like over here on my tablet? Well, yes, baby girl. How's it hanging? Okay, so first off, I'm gonna like my own video because I think that makes the algorithm happy. But you can pinch and zoom, so I bet if I made this full screen, we can just woo, boo, woo. Sorry. All right, I'll get back to it. Oh, Ember once held. She's gotten really pushy lately whenever she wants affection. Um, Amira says I should collect the seeds. Can't pick and zoom on my phone. That's okay. Okay. All right. Well, if you guys want me to zoom in, let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to do something. I'll be working back here and then I'll bring it in to get like a tight shot. Like a zoom in, a blurry shot. So, wow, so blurry. There we go. So, I've taken the shorty that we're going to be removing, and I've just slipped it up between those wires. I want to make sure that I'm honoring that this wire is wrapping around and this wire is wrapping from behind. And so this is where also I want to slide our little coiled bead. Whoop, just like that. Because this is going to help us establish our spacing. Do you see how you can see that gap in the light? Without this here, I might make these wires be too close. Especially with the 24 gauge wire. That it's really tricky for me to keep good and even tension without distorting the wires. So now we've wrapped once around both of those wires. And now I'm just going to insert another length of 18 gauge. And I'm going to wrap around all three. And I want to keep those wraps nice and tight side by side, but I don't want them crossing over each other. And then I'm going to add a fourth wire. And I'm just positioning to make sure that all of my core wires are a little parallel, and I like having them at different lengths because it makes it easier to kind of snag whenever I come in for the wraps on the way down. This will make it easier, I do believe. Okay, so I'm going to wrap around all four. And now this is how the back is looking. And then we're going to come around here to the front, and I'm just going to come up and between, and then I'm going to bend quite sharply towards the back. And at this stage, we do have enough going on that I'm going to go ahead and clamp up. Okay. So I do want to make sure that these can still move within our wire. But I've just pulled it to where in the middle, and now I'm positioning strategically where it's longest and then getting shorter. Hey Lenny, I am making this pendant right here that is just as blurry in person. There we go. Ooh, Handmaid says, apologies if you already said this. I always love answering questions, even if it's been asked before. But if we use a smaller bead, how would you suggest adapting the wire length so as to not waste any? Well, you could just use less wire, but I like to make sure that there's enough wire left over that if it's less wire than this, I can't really use it for anything. So I want to give myself at least 2 inches of wire to work with. Extra on each end, because whenever it gets cut off, I can use that to make bead links, which means now there's no wasted wire. And I would almost always rather give myself a much longer piece of wire, because then I could make multiple bead links out of it. I might be able to use it as a guide wire on a different project. Like, I try to cut my wire in a way that it leaves me a very usable size of scrap. Like, let me grab, this is my little plastic baggie of scrap wire. And I will show you in today's stream when we finish this. Um, I'll show you what I use with my scrap wire, because you can see I've got some loosely spooled thin wire in here. And so I try to, even if it's a small project, I'll still cut enough wire. Now, of course, I'm using copper. You know, I might have a completely different attitude if I were using sterling silver, you know. But that's in general whenever I'm working with this enameled copper wire from Parawire, so I don't have to worry about this tarnishing. The kits is bare though, that way you can oxidize it, but that's how I handle my scrap. Oh, hi, PC says, hi, can you use a frit mold in a microwave kiln, or are there molds made to use in a microwave kiln? And if you are moving to my neck of the woods, Alabama. I moved here from Missouri in 1986. No way! I live in Missouri. You can totally use frit molds in a microwave kiln. Your only limitation that I'm aware of is if the mold itself will fit into the kiln shelf bed of your microwave kiln. But yeah, otherwise the steps are exactly the same with preparing the bisque mold with boron nitride is what I recommend. The ZYP brand aerosol boron nitride. I like that so much better than kiln shelf wash. Like, it leaves a much nicer finished texture on the frit cabs. Aw, Lenny says that's so cool. It looks so nice. Well, thank you. I would have never guessed you could make this at home, but perhaps that's because I'm not crafty. Oh, well, we all start somewhere, but it's, we definitely have a workshop for a home, because we've been making jewelry professionally since 2008. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and clamp up. So I've got my wires positioned. But no, there's lots of folks that I know who have fantastic artisan crafts, like artwork and stuff, and they just work from their couch or their computer chair, you working on a lap desk. So it doesn't take any kind of really special setup. Just make it your favorite way, and that's the right way to have it. Okay, so now we have this positioned. I am going to go ahead and see, I need my emotional support banana. Today I'm using Yvette's banana, which is so dirty. Um, like, it's got some dog fur on it. But yeah, I just use little squish pillows for my elbow. And so that way I can stay in frame, but I'm not, just pressing my arm mercilessly into my work surface. Banana! Yeah. Well, in these ones, I'll use kiln paper, which you can see sticks a little more to the opaque glass than it does to the translucent glass. But I use bullseye kiln paper. Okay, so now I'm going to scooch this out of the way, because we're going to be coming up and through. Whoop, wrong one. There we go. In between these two. And also, I'm not flexing, but I'm blessed with strong fingernails. If you if you want, I recommend getting, this is just a thimble that has Next Care tape, because it bites into my skin. And you just shape it on around. Uh-oh, I shouldn't have pulled tight yet. But that's okay. We can just come in there using the thimble to push. But if I keep doing this, it's going to give me a very uneven back wire, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. So much of it gets covered by this uh, decorative wire that we'll be putting on the front. Wow. Oh, Lenny says that's a cool way to view it. The only thing I'm good with is paints. Oh, neat. I guess simply at the fiddly ability it probably takes to do this so precisely with the wire, but it looks cool. Right. Well, there's a craft for every crafter, and there's an art for every artist, and I think anything that's made with your head, your hands, and your heart is art. So, maybe you know it might not be your craft, but it's still enjoyable, because I'm kind of not terrible at painting, but I wish I were better and more knowledgeable at painting, but I love watching it, even though it's not something I do, you know, like much at all, unless it's painting something 3D, but it's so fun to learn, because you never know how something might overlap or inspire in a different craft, too. And so we're just going to continue doing this weave. So we've done one whole little bloop, 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 bloop. So wrapping one around 2, around 3, around 4, then around 3, and then 2. And now I did just 2 wraps. I should have done a third. So if you need to undo a stitch, we just come in there and accidentally weave it on. You just come in from behind and pull that through. I just use my fingernail or our nylon jaw pliers to fix that wire. It's kind of like using an eraser to smooth it back out. It's nice to know that I have that thimble, but I do prefer to work barehanded. Alright, so we're going to do a third wire, wrap just like that, and then we're going to bring that in quite tight. And for the bead that we send in the kit, which is a 12 millimeter, it takes 10 little rays of sunshine to go around the circumference of the bead. And the other weaving wire, I just make sure that it's going, like the other end of it is just off to whichever side my stationary hand. So if I were right-handed, or if I were left-handed and wrapping this, I'd want to make sure this whole length of wire is all off to the right of me. And then I'd just come through and have all the freedom in the world of just moving my active wire around. Ooh, I kind of like that. But now it's just twisting around my clamp. But this might be my new favorite way. So we're just going to do 10 repetitions. Ooh, turtle's belly flopping. Oh, and we don't want to wrap back over ourselves. We just want that to line up next to each other. And to get that parallel look that I'm going for specifically. Because I can't emphasize enough, there's not really a right or wrong way to do these things. There's just the result you were looking for and something else. So that something else I embrace, because oftentimes it's like, oh, this isn't what I planned, but this is what's happening. And it's a little cooler than what I had planned. So sometimes you gotta let that magic of chaos happen. And just hold on for the ride. Okay, so there we did another repetition. And that time, it was just a whole lot of spinning my clamp to wrap. And I feel like that got us a pretty nice tension. So there's one wrap, two wraps, and there's our third wrap. And now, well, hey, Ghost, we are making this pendant. I'm using 18 gauge and 24 gauge wire. All the stuff should, I don't think I put it in the video description. Oh well. But around a 12 millimeter bead. And right now we're weaving the pattern that goes around the edge that is the little rays of sunshine. Ooh, you know what would be really wise? If I had a little note that like said something here. I'm not gonna make it right now, but maybe for next week's it'll be like craft along with us. Get your kit at backtoearthcreations.com or something. I'd rather be crafting though than doing marketing. Well, hey Cheryl, how's it going? But it's a little like a charm that you can use as a pendant or as earrings. And again, we just want to make sure that we're wrapping around the wires without getting it twisted around itself. Just building, the coil stacked shoulder to shoulder. And the farther we get away from the nose of the clamp, the more difficult wrangling the wires has become. Like, it makes it, they're a little more finicky, I suppose. They bend a little more easily. And then, so what I've learned is that every 2 stitches of the pattern, I should go ahead and scooch the jaws of our pliers up. But I'm just going to come in first and squeeze with our nylon jaw pliers. Give it the old squishy smush, just to see how it looks. And that's looking pretty good. Very pleased with that. Wow, no way. And so we're just going to dislodge the clamp. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. And I really like the ring clamp that has leather. You can add your own. You could probably make your own of these, but if you're online shopping or if you're making one, I like the leather in the nose, like in the jaws of the clamp, because it keeps it from leaving clamp marks in my wire, even when I'm using a quite soft copper wire. Which the wire that we're using today is 18 gauge and 24 gauge para wire. This is bare copper, but most of the para wire that we use or send out in our kits has been covered in a clear enamel, so you don't have to worry about it tarnishing or irritating you if you have metal allergies. Man, what a wild ride it's been this morning. Like, it was thundering and raining cats and dogs when we first started streaming, and now the sun's coming out. The cement's all drying. It's going to be good and muggy today, I bet. Well, hey, Ember Cat. Well, come on up, pretty girl. And so there's 2 and 3. Oop. And I want to be careful that, do you see how whenever I pull too hard, especially whenever well, it had pulled the wire and I want to avoid that. Well, yes. Here, I must give this kitty some attention. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I have no room for you, but I'm going to bring you up anyway. Well, yes, because I love you. Because you're lovable. Yeah. We're going to take a little kitty break. This is my Ember. She's been so, like, grumpy, but holding me over the past couple of days. Haven't you? You just went on my desk, don't you? I know, I'm not daddy. She prefers being held by Randy, but I do my best in his stead. He's busy weaving scale mail for our booth at DragonCon. We're gonna have some different costumes and stuff. Okay, you good? She's been a little wobbly these past couple of days. What Christmas? Sorry, y'all. But she's 19 years old now, and she's a good girl. I count on her every day to hold up productivity and put fur in my coffee. Yeah. Well, aren't you just inspecting my work surface? Well, hey, John McGowan. Big fan. Actually, haven't caught your lives, but now that I have a chance, I've watched many of your videos, and I've made many, many pieces. Love your energy and always look forward to your tutorials. All right, on, John. Well, thank you so much for joining us in today's live stream. We're kind of streaming more here lately, just to we're trying to be algorithmically pleasing so we can continue to make a living. But these Sunday morning live streams are going to be specifically for oh my god, thank you so much, John. A cup of coffee. Oh, well, cheers. Clink. I appreciate you. But these Sunday morning live streams are going to be where we focus on our craft along projects for the month. And we're actually moving to Alabama, but that way we can all like hang out and like answer questions live and craft together. And we have our YouTube community page where folks can post pictures of their work too. But we're moving to Alabama in October unless some insurmountable obstacle is what we keep saying. But Randy, what's this? I don't understand.
Just replace the closed rings with a scale.
Is there a question that I missed?
Yeah.
Where? Oh, I see. Okay, it just came through. Okay, Holly says, I need a lesson in adding scales to a chainmail weave, assuming scale mail weave for adding the scales. Yes. Well, for scale mail, it's actually just a European 4-in-1. And so what we'll do is, instead of using 2 rings stacked together, we'd use a ring and a scale, and then we'd weave through it. Do you happen to have a finished strip, Randy?
You do.
Okay, let me grab that. I have an example. Ember, please don't go anywhere. You'll tear the whole house down. Okay. Also, let me set this on fire again. Oh, nice. I love it. So I have to say, productivity in the craft room, at least on my end of it, is not continuous. Randy is continuously productive. I am productive in short, intense, frantic bursts of explosions. But so this is, you'd be using scales, closed rings, and open rings. Oh, Ember, I love you so much. You're such a good kitty. Yes, you are sweet and precious and the most beautiful and perfect. Look at you. Look at you. Who's my goodest girl? You really are. I have the kit from Chainmail Joe you suggested, but I've only been able to make the one rosette you taught. Okay. Have you connected the rosettes together into a chain to make a Mobius chain, which is a fantastic bracelet or necklace? Or so this is the inside of the scale mail. And this is the top side of the scale mail. And so what Randy does is he goes through and he weaves the strips, and then I go through and I'll weave the strips of scales together. So right on. Well, the more you practice, the better you'll get, and even practice on one weave does translate into being more competent in other weaves as well. Whenever you try new things, just because you'll have built up the kind of brain pliers coordination for being able to work with rings. Once you get past feeling fumbly with your pliers, so much of chainmail becomes significantly um, more like more achievable. So this is the inside of the scale strip, and this is the top side. And so you can see here how that pattern, and we'll just lay that, and then we would weave the side rings through. So I've clearly disturbed Ember, so we're going to get back to right on. Well, it's again just making a bunch of those Mobius flowers over and over. That Mobius flower is the start of the spiral weave. So if you still have more of the rings, we do have tutorials for that. And that's also why we're doing these craft along live streams, is so that we can use the materials that are in this month's kit. So with the assistance of our sweet and precious Ember Cat, we are gonna keep weaving this. Hey chum, how's it going? Oh, well, thank you so much, Holly. We do try our best to be helpful. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, and then 3 around. Hey Shannon, how's it going? I know, well, it's going to tickle you if you sit there. And then cat fur's always free. She is molting. And then around like that. This spacer comes in so handy though. I don't know if you can see how tight those are starting to get up on each other. But then we'll just slide that out. And bring that, oh, I shouldn't have pulled that tight. So I'm going to loosen it up and then press that down. And it's just to maintain that spacing right there. There we go. Now we pull it tight, scooch it back out. There's no point in rushing this. You know, see how I mean? If I apply pressure too much, it starts leveraging that away, and that can disrupt how nice and even our back edge will look. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, well, Ember's a sweetie. She's not a paid actor. She comes on her own accord. But she's as true a friend as a kitty can be. So if she wants to come and spend some of her time with me, I'm going to make time for her. Because otherwise it's all work and no play. All right on, Holly. It makes a big difference. Ooh, Mimir says you're doing chores with me. I forgot I can't turn the screen off for your live streams. Wish I could. You have to go in my pocket for a minute. Oh, you're good, Mimir. Then 1, 2. Let's go ahead and do the third one. Boop, there we go. I wonder which one makes the algorithm happier. Click tickle in the heart or click in the like button. So there we are with 4 repetitions of our pattern. I'm going to go ahead and just chuck up on it. Aw, thank you guys. I see some hearts coming. Oh, too far. I need to back up, pull out just a little. There we go. All right, check up on it and kind of wedge that in. Pet your kitty. There we go. Oh no, it's kitty feet. Hey, sassy cat. Yeah, it's kitty feet. And then I'm just going to come up, around. So this will be the last one that I do on this side. Making sure that we have enough space to get past the spacer. There we go. And then we can, yeah, we get it scooched back up into position and then we tighten down. 1, whoop, 2, and 3. Woo! Hey, Kitsune! I don't have enough wire for today, but I'm watching avidly so I can know what to get from Parawire. Right on, because I need this pendant so bad. 18 gauge and 24 gauge. 18 gauge is the core, 24 gauge is the coiling wire. Wolf, I'm using a jeweler's vise. I think this is a ring clamp to hold my wires securely. A few years ago, I had a strain injury from overuse that is easily irritated now. And so whenever I use the clamp, I can just focus on holding carefully and loosely on the clamp so I'm not straining my hand, but it holds all of my wires nice and even in parallel. And well, that's just my favorite. So you could also grip with nylon jaw pliers. I just wanted something that this much tension is being applied even if I'm holding very lightly just through my fingertips. So so yeah, again, it's holding all those wires nice and even, and I can just relaxedly hold, but you'll probably notice me clenching up on it. But even then, it's a little more ergonomic to be holding this than it is to be, you know. Well, I'm hoping that these pendants will be able to put up for sale in our midsummer auction or on our website. So yeah, I need to do a second coiling. There we go. So now we've got 2 little coils like so. And then one wide, where'd my spacer? I'm going to pull the spacer off of this side. And then I'm going to come and put it on this side. Whew. Almost had a bad time, but that's okay. We caught it just in time. And then wrapping around. And then I like to bring up before coming over, because now that bend is established and I feel like it gets me a tighter, slightly more consistent weave. And I will do anything to get a slightly more consistent weave. Oop, before I tighten it, I just want to make sure that, there we go. Just to keep that spacing. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So this one right here that I just did 2 on, that is on purpose by design, because whenever we bring our wire down and through, we're going to be nestling it just right in between. Cat fur. I want to be able to just nestle the wire in between. And that's why I'm doing this the way that I am, where there's only 2 there. And so there's our 3. We're going to bring that spacer and we're going to pull up. And then we're going to bring that down. Remove the spacer just a bit so we can get that through. And then before we tighten it, get it choked back up on it. And then pulling up so that that bend is established right there. And then coming through. And then coming around. Oopsie. And it's, I want a nice straight wire because then whenever we bring up and come around, everything just kind of lays a little nicer. So bending up. Coming between those wires. Ember's whiskers are tickling my hand so bad. Hey, Misty Cherie, how's it going? Oh, John McGowan says, when is your next live sale? I love watching them. Oh, that makes me happy to hear. We're having one this coming Friday, June 26th, here on YouTube from 3 until 6 p.m. We're having our midsummer live auction, and we are predominantly listing dragon eyes up for bid. So we actually have the auction gallery updated at backtoearthcreations.com. There'll be a button just right at the top of the website that says auction gallery, and you can click that, or you can navigate through the drop down menu bar, whether you're on a computer or on a phone or something. Um, just taking a minute to drink some cat hair coffee. So I'm just coming through, and again, we do want to make sure that we can, because that wire will just get pinched up against the grooves in between the coils. And so that's why I have to pull that back just a bit. Ah! Oh my god, I love your dragon eyes. I'll definitely tune in. Right on. And we do a free newsletter that you can sign up for at our website. That way, if YouTube's not great about sending you notifications, we send out an email every time we have a live stream or a new tutorial, or a shop update, are most of the things that we usually have going on here. So there's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to give that a smush with my nylon jaw pliers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need 3 more. So I'm going to get clamped up on this. Hey Barbie, how's it going? We are making June's craft along project, which, sorry Ember, Ember is laying on. It's what we made in Friday's live stream, but I'm doing a slightly more refined version of it. But we're still doing our Kick live stream this afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. But I'm only here until 1 p.m. today on YouTube, so I'll try to be a little more better prepared next week for our Sunday craft along live stream. But I'm really excited to be dedicating some time specifically to our craft along projects to be available live. That way folks can ask things and for the mushroom painting and stuff. Things like that. It would have been really handy, I think, if we had offered some live craft time on that one. So this is 1 of 3 that we need. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then bringing that spacer back up. We're going to lift around. And there's 1. There's 2. And there's 3 around all 4, and then bringing it up and weaving it through, bringing it up, making some space, weaving it through, then 1, 2, and 3. We're going to open up our chuck. And just bring that up. And then wedge like so. It's the website listed on YouTube where I can sign up for the newsletter. YouTube, for some reason, doesn't give me notifications for you anymore. Weirdly, it's been months. Oh, right on. Yeah, it's the website listed. It's backtoearthcreations.com is the website where that's our hub for everything, because we're trying to be as independent of social media as we can. Like, we still have our Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube, but we want our website to be a hub where you can find all of those other things there. Not too bad, making this week's bread and sorting beads by size in between. Oh, nice. What kind of bread are you making this week? Whenever the tomatoes start coming in from the garden, I want to try making some focaccia bread. Oh, wait, Kitsune says, ooh, we're getting lots of you. Yes. Well, it's, we're hustling. We're hoping that we can increase the amount of kits that we send out each month, because we're moving, and so I don't know what our future holds. So we're just trying to do as best we can while our health and luck hold. So bring in, and is this our 3rd one? I think it is. So actually it would be our 10th one if you're Italian and sourdough. Nice. That sounds exciting. Oops. That's always where I forget, but so far it hasn't been, irreparably bad. We're getting through it. Maybe this week is the week I start my starter. Hold my hand. You can do it. Virginia says, ooh, bonus stream. Are you still streaming later in Kick? I am. Yeah, we're still going to have our regularly scheduled 3 to 6 p.m. Dragon Eye sculpting session today on kick.com/backtoearthcreations. And again, that's something that if folks want notified of whatever it is that we're doing, wherever it is that we're doing it, that would be our website newsletter. Yeah, getting some much needed ember time. Oh, you can't even see I'm loving on her. Quick, Ember, pretend like we like each other for the camera. Do it for the views, for the Instagram. So much fur. So much fur. Just shedding. Both of us shedding all the time. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of our repetition of our pattern. And so you could use a nylon headed hammer and hammer this very lightly, but you might be really having a hard time. If I hammer too hard and these weaving wires get gripped onto our core wires, then it's very difficult to pull them out. If you had some stainless steel wire and an 18 gauge, then it would be like, yeah, go ahead and hammer it. But I like to just give it a good solid squishy smush with the nylon jaw pliers just to even out anywhere that might not have already been effectively squished by the ring clamp. And then we are going to use our bent nose pliers that are under the cat's butt. So hairy. And we're going to pull out, there's one. And then pulling out two. And now we're going to pull out this third. And I really like to grip it with a, oh, thank you so much, John. Cat Actors Guild, love Ember. Oh, she is a good girl, isn't she? She's such a sweet kitty. She carries the show, really. But now we've got that pulled out. And now we have all of our little rays of sunshine. Chaka-chaka-cha. Just protruding precariously into the wider world. So, oh, Ember, eviction notice. I gotta scoot you, baby. Yeah, you're gonna hate it. Oh, there's my big girl. Yeah, go cuddle your bubba. The horrible neglect and abuse. I've scooched her onto a pillow. She says, I've never been more betrayed in my whole life. No, kitty. Hey, Randy. Are you able to give Ember some love and attention?
Yeah, I'm gonna go wash my hands.
All right. Actually, Ember's providing us a fantastic service. If not for her and Z-Dog, I don't know that Randy and I would ever take breaks. So the pets and animals that we share our life with remind us to be human. You know, it's like, come love on me, come take care of me. I count on you, you silly person. Oh no, here she comes again. And Mare says, how dare the human, the nerve to move the Ember Goddess, right? Oh wow, a Mare dental work. Good luck with that. I know, and then you'll go cuddle daddy. But that way Randy gets to take a break from weaving chainmail. How dare the human. Oh, my chunky little monster. My wickle monster, Ember and me. We go everywhere together. We're in a raincoat. She's such a ham and cheese sandwich today. Do you see her? She's rubbing her butthole all over my pliers. Okay. And she's on my project. There we go. Thank you, Randy. Okay. The Ember has been humanely relocated to Randy Snuggles. Randy's Ember's dad. I've seen how she is with her. Mm-hmm. No, she's a daddy's girl. She loves Randy. So I'm going to use a ring mandrel now. Oh, Barbie says my old kitty has 2 teeth left, yet she still picks fights with the young ones. Well, yeah. Gotta go out with your boots on. She's like, no, I'm not leaving, right? So, one of the alternate projects, so this right here is what I'm about to show you. Wake up, everybody. If you've been hanging out waiting for me to get on with it, we're finally getting on with it. Here's the most interesting part of the project, I think. But I'm going to show you how to do this. But just to get your brain juices flowing, next Sunday, we're going to be going over how to incorporate this into the grooved cabochon that comes in June's craft along kit as well. So I'm going to try to have the wire already woven in this design to the perimeter of our cabochon. So the way that we would figure that out is, and this is a fantastic use for some, scrap wire, but we'll want to find out exactly how much wire it's going to take to go around our cab. And since these are homemade, each one's just a little different. So you just come around, and you could use a marker. I'm going to throw my pliers and then use them to just add a bend, because now, coming from that bend, we can straighten that wire out. And so now I'll know that I'll need this much to go around the perimeter of my cabochon. Now, you'd need a different amount for this cab than what you would need for this cab. And you could probably take the same method and use it for a different shape if you get some of the grooved cabochons off of our website. But so what we would have done is on the same, probably the same amount of wire and everything, same amount of cat fur, I'd have woven until I had this much of the pattern, and put the, how we did 3 weaves in between each space, except for the very centermost one, which just has 2. I'd do that again for the other side, possibly. We'll have to see. I haven't worked out that design yet. We'll be doing it on the fly next Sunday. So that being said, how do you and Randy cut each cab? The yellow one, that's crazy work. Oh, I do it by hand on my grinder, like one at a time. Like, let's pretend like this is the grinder bit. I sit there like this, and this hand has a sponge that, so it's usually, and then get it wet, and then I check its depth, and then I one last evening out roundabout, and then I dip it into the water to pre-wash it, and set it there, and then I do another one, and then I do another one, and then I do another one. But I'm just happy to be working, truly. I'm gonna have to start volunteering at the shelter so I can get some furry lovin's in. Oh. I'm folding laundry. Evie is picking apart my wool balls. May need an impromptu felting session later. Oh. Oh, felting's so much fun. All right, is everybody ready? Does anybody have any questions before we begin? Oh, John says, oh my God, girl, that's crazy, but wouldn't expect anything less. You guys are always offering the best quality. Well, thank you. We really do try our best. We're trying. So, man, we drop the ball a bunch still, but y'all are so patient and kind with us that we can't help but keep going. So now from here, I'm just taking on a much larger part of the ring mandrel than what I necessarily need. I'm getting that bend started. And that makes such a pretty little crown. And then we can just move this down the barrel of the ring mandrel and continue shaping all the way around. And I do want to keep the compression tension, like I want that smush to be maintained throughout. I don't want this wire expanding a lot on us. So there you can see how that looks. And that's basically it for the ring mandrel. We can put that back over yonder. And now I'm going to use my bent nose, or my flat nose pliers. And I'm going to really just smush that as much as I can. Right now it's not as important because if I keep smushing, it'll just keep pushing it off the unbent end. But I want to do a really nice crispy, like just straight up perpendicular to the rest of our circle, and even a little farther past. That way it stays curved there at the top. And before I bend this one, it's bead time, you guys. It's on the floor. It's rolling. I got it. Oh, Misty says quality and value has been amazing for years. Can't help but come back for more from amazing people working hard at sharing lovely things. Oh, thank you guys for your encouragement, your support, and just being here. Thank you. So we're threading our bead on, letting it go all the way up, and we want to keep this part just as nice and tight as what we possibly can. Now we're going to get a little super zoom and pray for me that we stay in frame. Ooh, Barbie says, I'm excited about this project. I have several 12mm beads. I had not had an idea of what to use them on. Right on. Now, in doing this part, you could do like on the couch watching TV or something and then come back to the workbench for the slightly more intense 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this part that we're fixing to do. So I'm going to use my thumbnail to just get between, or you could use a really sharp edge of your pliers. Like you don't want it like sharp, you just want it to be able to get between those wires just like that. Do you see how we encouraged that open? And so now pushing this bead, I'm holding the bead and pulling on that wire just as hard as what is necessary. And I want to cinch down this outer wire. Like I'm squishing that up. There we go. And then I'm just going to do a training bend. Right around like that. But now we have to go like this, where I've pulled it out and I've come to the end of our bead, or the end of our wire, sorry. And now making sure that our wire is lined up with where it's going to be going, I'm pushing this bead to the front with my fingers behind it and threading up and through the bead. Whoop, there it's coming out the other side. And now we get to pull this through. And just go slow and steady. Don't worry about it until you get to where you've got about this much of a loop. And so I'm just bending this back just a little bit. And I want to be pushing from the wires with my fingers like this. And I use my thumbnail as a ramp to guide that wire into place, just like so. Progress will come with practice. We're not shooting for perfect. We're just trying to get it done so we can see what we need to improve at, because that's how you get better at something, you know? Whew. Oh, I'm going to stretch and move my arms a little bit. Does anybody have any questions while we're taking a moment to just kind of like wiggle around? Memory says, yes, I have a lot of beads my mom has given me. I need to learn to wrap a bead, and even some look like cabs with holes in them. Oh, nice. Yeah, like you could do this with like a coin bead, all sorts of stuff. Like different shapes. Okay, so now I'm going to come right here. And I'm going to compress this wire just as much as I can, and then bend up so that that wire is sticking up like the bunny ears. Okay. Now, over here off to the side, we've got a fair bit of this wire. And I think that's perfect because I'm going to be showing you guys a bonus project, 2 bonus projects actually, that we can do with this scrap wire. Because if this were just like this long, just a little bit of scrap wire, what if I had had an idea that I couldn't pursue because I didn't have enough wire and I'm lazy and didn't want to splice more in? Or, that's not quite enough to do much of anything with, whereas this is another project's worth. So we've snipped that, and I've snipped it facing me because when this pendant is being worn, there will be no loose ends of wire on the back. And I like that because it makes it very comfortable. So there's the wire coming up out of our bead. And I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to wrap around both of these wires once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to slow it down quite a bit, laying it next to the other one, bringing it around. I lift my elbow to like dodge around those wires. So I wire wrap kind of with my whole arm. Do you see how I'm just like cranking around it? The wire that we're using is pretty close to dead soft. It's from parawire.com and it gets a little, just a touch work hardened through the enameling and spooling process. But if this is a gauge and dead soft is over here and full hard is over here and half hard is here, I think the parawire is like at like 20% on the, if this is 100 miles per hour, it's like 20. Do you think square core would be easier or harder? I think that would be, for me, that would be much harder. The square edges of the wire, I have a difficult time weaving around them. There are some folks who do it and do it beautifully, but for me, that's something that's very challenging. So uh, give it a try and find out for yourself and let us know. But yeah, so once I get a little bit, I can come in, and again, just trying to save my hand the effort and exertion. I'm just going to hold with my nylon jaw pliers, doing anywhere from 5 to 8 coils, and then coming up and gripping. Have you tried to do the wraps? The drill. Oh, have you tried the drill to do the wraps? It's faster, but always mess it up, so I do it by hand. Um, in very specific situations, I will use a drill to do wraps. But like this one here, I would have needed to have hand coiled those first couple, yeah, baby, of your first centimeter or so anyways, just because the drill isn't able to get that kind of accuracy and control. And then to put it in, to chuck it, to drill it, what, another quarter of an inch, half an inch or so. I think whenever I do coiling for stuff, it would be if I'm doing a wire that's got wire coiled on it, that I then take and coil that. Those are my favorite projects to use the drill on, but I also don't do a whole lot of that. Uh, I think it's very good to practice without the tools for assistance because, especially when we're learning, because it gives me a deeper understanding of the how and the why of what I'm doing. And then you can fill in with tools to make the job go faster. But getting that understanding first helps me to just have, well, thank you, Randy, a thorough understanding of everything. Um, Whenever, it's foundation techniques are so crucial to having to painting more freely whenever you're just doing something from your heart. But in this case we're wire wrapping. But I don't know. I don't know how to, it helps me at least, and I teach the way I learn, so hopefully I can be helpful to somebody else as well. Have you ever tried the star/ray pattern using square wire? Square wire is the core, or square wire for the weaving wire? I have tried, but did not have success. with specifically, it was very difficult to do the weaving in a way that was nice and crisp. Oh, for the weaving. No, I haven't tried that. I haven't tried square or half round. I bet both of those would be very cool. So now we have, how long is this? It's about 1 1/8 inches. Hey Danielle, how's it going? I just saw you come in. So from here, I like to take a stick mandrel. I'm using the like 5 or 6 millimeter size because that makes it large enough for any of my chains that we sell out of our booth to be able to go through the bale. But you could use a pen or a knitting needle. So I'm just going to put it a little off center, from center, and then be bending around it. Ember, we're right here, honey. Ember. It's like she gets lost, but she's right there. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take right here in the grip of my flat nose pliers, and I want to just do a bend. Yes, baby? And I'm going to bend just a little tighter, just getting the nose of my pliers really right up in there. Oh, Ember, I gotta go check on her. What's up, baby? Do you want some catnip? You want some nip? She says, "Oh, yes, I want some nip. Give me that nip, Mama." There you go. That's how I want to spend my retirement years. Just put some catnip down and I'll roll around in it. Well, Ember isn't usually, she's increasingly vocal, and so we don't really know what to think of it. We're just trying to listen and understand. Where did you get your mandrels? These are stick mandrels that I got in a 2-pack on Amazon. But I also really enjoy my mandrel pliers or bale making pliers. But to me, they look just like a mandrel, but they're on pliers, so. So using our 24 gauge wire, I'm going to wrap around the back. And you can kind of see I'm trying to get that wire to disappear. There we go, in with the other wires. So if you guys have been enjoying today's live stream, please do tickle the like button. I think that makes the algorithm happy and helps us continue to do this. And we will be streaming on kick.com/Back to Earth Creations from 3 to 6 p.m. this afternoon, where Randy and I will be crafting our hearts out, making some artwork for this weekend's midsummer auction. That's on Friday. Yeah, baby girl. Somebody smells like catnip. Somebody's high on drugs. Hey, Ember. What are you doing? Always nip your cat responsibly. She's not allowed to drive anywhere or make any financial decisions. Well, hey, Cecilia, how's it going? Well, hey, Tesha, how's it going? Did you say at one time her eyesight is failing? That's our Z dog. He's got cataracts. Ember seems to be doing pretty well. She's sharp as she's ever been, if that's saying anything. Okay, so we've done 2 wraps now. around like so. And I want to come in here and I'm going to sew through this side. And I'm just pulling that down. And now I'm going to sew through on the other side. So we're wrapping around that wire that's going through the bead. And I think this is just a fantastic way that if you do have any space where your bead is wiggling, I like my beads to be very secure, but this gives you control over the tension. And so now I'm gonna bend it past where I need it. Hey, Ember. I'm gonna, yeah, bending it just a little farther past where I need it, and then pulling it back out just a little. And we've got some more of that extra wire. Looking for my bent nose pliers. Well, Ember's had some catnip this morning now, and I gave her some valerian root this morning. But we've snipped it, and now I'm just going to come in. You can see that little tail end. And I'm just going to tuck that in, because nothing's going to snag that. That'll be... You'd have to, like, get a tool and dig around in there just to try to lift it out. Daniel says, I wish I wasn't allergic to fur babies. Well, you can vicariously through us. Pet the kitty. Well, do you keep, are you allergic to, like, reptiles or birds or anything? I have some turtles that I'm keeping an eye on while my niece is at college, and they're pretty serious environment enrichment for me. I love playing with them. We give them lots of vegetables and stuff, feeding them different things that, of course, are turtle safe, but all right. So we're here. I'm going to come in and do something a little scary. I'm going to bend each of these wires off to the side. If you feel any distortion in the bail, you can just come in and squeeze it with your flat nose pliers. Just get some nice shaping on that bail. And I'm going to trim the right one. Boop. Just like that. Just snip. Woo. But by doing that bend, it should keep the wire from sliding off the end. And now we can come through on this wire and shape it around. And you can see we can kind of squish and make it a little larger, make it a little tighter, just whatever you like. You can even experiment with doing multiple. And that's why I like to give myself a little more wire than what I think I'm going to need. Because, oh, you can experiment. I don't think I like that as much as I like just the single. But now we've experimented. And we just back it up. It's okay. And then just pressing with the tip of my pliers on a spot that was a little high. Right on. A memory says I like the multi-swirl. I think I would like the multi-swirl more on perhaps a larger cabochon, but the reason why I chose not to go with it is it was a lot that's not bound down, and it worried me. But now we're coming in up here. I'm using my thumb to press down there, just getting a nice little wrap like that. Oh, thank you so much, Cecilia. That's so generous. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, I appreciate you guys so much. Them just for bearing. I'm sure the turtles are adorable. They are. They're vicious beasts, but I love them. Misty says, I named my new kitten Phantom because he has Siamese like coat style. And also, he tries to meow, but it's either squeak or 100% silent. Oh, his purr box is loud, and I know he can make noises. Okay. Oh, he would start meowing and demanding we come to him instead of him coming to us like he had always done. Gotcha. They're so good. Oh, nice. Well, thank you. It's the summer solstice today, and I wanted to make something summery. So we could totally. Do you all want to make this spirally or do you want to make it minimalist? Like we'll count like the first 10. So either say spiral or minimal or something. There's one spirally from Danielle. Because, like, the spirally will be like the other one that we have made. Pardon me, Ember. Ooh, it's 50-50. So this would be kind of spirally. Ooh, so we got two spiral. Well, spiral's winning. So I think we'll do. Well, if I were to do minimal, what I would do, because this is 18 gauge wire, is I would cut. Ooh, ooh, okay. We're getting more minimal in. Ah, thank you, Cecilia. Okay, so if we were to do spirally, I would, I can demonstrate the spiral and then trim it off to show the minimal. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm pressing. By having the wire be pinched against the bail, it's helping me to control where the center of that goes. And so we can go like that. We could sew it through the bail to lock it down. We could make it be another spiral around. Ooh, I like that. That would be very nice on a pendant, I think. Thank you, Randy. So yeah, that's probably how I would do a spiral. And then I would cut right there and tuck it in the way that I'm about to show you on for the minimal. So I want to cut this wire flat side of my pliers, and I'm cutting it so that it will rest behind this wire. So to achieve that minimal look, I'm now coming in with my bent nose pliers hooked onto the rim of our bead frame and just pressing down and then pressing that way. It's just some strategic squishy smushing to close that loop. Because this is 18 gauge wire, that's strong enough. I have made and sold many a piece of jewelry where the links are just a bead with the 18 gauge wire on a butted loop like that. So that's just a butted loop. But that's how we do our slightly more sleek and minimal sun pendant, which is totally technically reversible. And I'm very pleased with that, you guys. Oh, well, thank you. And if you guys craft along with us, either with our craft along kits or with your own materials from your craft room stash, you can post it to our YouTube community page here on YouTube. You can post pictures of your work, and I think that's just a wonderful opportunity to show off, do some shameless self-promotion. Let us know if if you sell your jewelry and things, you can kind of shamelessly plug there. Just in with the post of also showing your work. Like, don't spam it, but everybody's been great so far. But, oh, your polymer clay's marbling is sanding off? Oh, no. Now I'm going to show you guys real quick what I like to do with my scrap wire. I think sun is underneath my ember cat. Here we go. So could you attach a single piece of the ray design to hang in front? Would that look weird? Um, you could put, I would want to do an odd number of sunshine rays to have one hanging down. And I would probably do double wire on that sunshine ray tip just so that it's a little bit more robust. Um, but yeah, you could totally do that. Oh, Sculpey3, gotcha. Hey, Joette, she says, I love that. Can't wait to try it. Question, do you ever make pendants to put on chain or leather cord for men? Technically, yes. Like, our arrowheads and, like, shark teeth and a lot of our crystal pendants and stuff, lots of gentlemen buy those from us. And then we put them on, like, a stainless steel snake chain or spiral chain, but leather cord as well. But yeah, so much of it is to just to do with, the person's style, on whether or not it's like their style. We sell a lot more bracelets than we do uh, pendants to gentlemen. So I'm just gonna take this wire and wad and ball it up and start getting it. If we have a loose end that's poking us, just take some pliers and like spiral it in. They don't even have to be round nose pliers. Just get it so it's not a loose edge. Yep, we're making a nest. And so from here, you can see we've got a nice little bit of wire hanging off the end. This could be a nest. This could be a basket for in a fairy house. And so I'm just going to whip stitch this around. And actually, I bet, I just had an idea, you guys. We could make a little wreath pendant, or a wreath for a fairy house. So I'm just cramming my pliers into the middle and then just separating out. Oop, there's another loose end. Oop, it's 1 o'clock. Okay, you guys, I need to go get the newsletter put together for the Kick live stream this evening, or this afternoon into the evening. Thank you guys so, so much for coming and hanging out with me today. But you can make a little wreath out of your scrap wire. You could also make it a bird nest. A bird nest is basically just a wreath that we didn't open up the bottom on. And I don't like to sew just through, like just whip stitching all the way around. I like to sew through any little loops and obscurities to kind of pin them down. So it's almost like we're sewing all of the little pieces in. All right. Thank you guys so, so much for coming and hanging out with us. Again, if you enjoy what we're doing, be sure to sign up for our free newsletter so you can stay in the loop. But yeah, can you imagine that like just on like a little fairy door in like a garden? You could probably add in some really tiny polymer clay flowers or like little beads to give the impression of flowers. And we can even start to make some little spirals and things, like how a vine might grow. That one's just coming about halfway through. Very cool way to do several options with some wire like that. Right on. But yeah, I mean, in that way, if I just go ahead and use my scrap wire, I do in air quotations because, I mean, if there's a crafter, there's a way. If I go ahead and make it into something instead of just hoarding it, I usually end up having some unplanned fun and, having that creative challenge of like, okay, how do I make this really awesome, or oh, what if I did this? Or you just got to give yourself the opportunity to play and run off leash a bit. And we can just, like, I don't know, what do you guys think of that? Does this look like a wreath? What direction would you take this in? And any areas where I'm like, oh, I kind of like what's happening here, we can double down on it by just adding in a little bit more, like, oh, I want to accentuate that spiral before we like loop through. Oop, pulled it too far. That's okay. And then we can hook through here. So it's just like a little chaos earring. I would do the nest because, again, tiny eggs. Yes. An ember kitty. That is an ember kitty. What kind of animal is that? This is my cat. She is awesome. I love her. She's 19 years old. She's a sweetie. Could be jewelry too, a pendant or earrings or fairy house cottage mini decor. Yes. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment after the live stream's over or to send us an email to backtoearthcreations@yahoo.com. And we'll do our best to be helpful to you if we can. Ooh, those would make cute earrings for Christmas. Just add some seed beads. Yes. But yeah, and then to finish it off, I just tuck in this wire. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and bend that loose end. So yeah, no such thing as waste. We can find, or no such thing as trash. We can find a use for it so it doesn't go to waste. And then, y'all, I wonder, what if we hammer it? Okay, mind yourself, Ember, it's gonna be loud. Just between some nylon jaw and the table. So right over here. I didn't mean to startle you, baby. Okay, I think I ruined it. But it just, I don't know, it made just like a kind of cool washer that I bet we could take a cabochon and sit it on there. And there's a little bit of a pokey wire. But like, what if we did something like that and then set a cabochon on it and then did like a fractal wrap or did a net bezel? That might be a really cool, chaotic. It feels nice on the skin. Having ideas. All right. Happy crafting, you guys. We'll see you in our Kick live stream later. Have a great day.